So we have our second MSI video for the show. The first one was looking at the X570 motherboards, and now we're back looking at the GT76 Titan, and this one is pretty special. So we already previously talked about the, actually with Linus, talked about the Alienware Area 51M or whatever it's called. I don't know their names anymore. So we talked about that one. It's got a socketable 9900K. It's very interesting because it's a socketable 9900K. This does the same thing in that it is a socketable CPU. So if you really wanted to, you could actually replace it, I suppose. Although it will come with a 9900K, and it's supposed to be overclockable. Before that, this video is brought to you by the Gigabyte Z390 Aorus Master motherboard, which comes equipped with one of the more powerful Z390 VRMs for heavier overclocks on the new 9th gen Intel CPUs. The Aorus Master is also one of the few motherboards with a real heatsink this generation, featuring a mix of high surface area fins and looks-oriented cover blocks. Oh, and it's also got updated RGB illumination. Learn more at the link below. Details are not yet final. There's even a sticker on it that says this is an engineering sample. Everything you see today is not 100% final, but it's getting close, and the pricing on it is going to be in the range of maybe $3,500 to $5,000 depending on the SKU. What we're going to do is take the back off here and just look at the cooling solution that's on there today. It should be pretty close to what you'll get, and talk about the potential options in BIOS for overclocking, things like that. See if MSI can make up for where Alienware let us down in the video with Linus. So let's start with the teardown then. Very simple here. There's a couple screws. So these are all, I think, Phillips, and there shouldn't be any hidden sneaky screws in this. Can't feel any there. So we're just going to pull these out, and I believe this is the only screwdriver we have in all of Taiwan, so hopefully it will fit. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws to go. The solution here, it goes up to an RTX 2080. My understanding is that there's not presently a 2080 Ti solution for notebooks, and thermal is hopefully obviously going to be the biggest challenge with anything like this, where once you really start overclocking, if you want to do a good job on it, you do need to remove power limits, and that's where the Area 51 fell short. It's a tremendously interesting laptop. Unfortunately, the thermal design is not particularly good on the Area 51, and even when we did the special cooling solution that we did with Linus, which was to open it and put a liquid cooler on it and attach it to a chiller at below 0 degrees Celsius, it was still very limiting, and that's because the BIOS didn't have enough options for us. MSI has a few more options in BIOS that we've seen so far, and that makes it promising for the for lifting power limits. Okay, so I had this removed by the team to make sure I don't damage the engineering sample here. So let's talk about a few things. First of all, this is important, and I didn't mention it yet. This is a dual power adapter. So you've got two power adapters plugging into one cable. This is a custom cable, plugs into the laptop. We've talked about this ages ago with the CyberPower notebooks that MSI also makes, where the two separate power adapters kind of stop at around 300 watts for certification reasons and practicality reasons. So these connect into one, and then you have your power brick that connects to the laptop, and there's what the connector looks like on the end that goes into the adapter, the item that merges them. So that's important. You do need a lot of power for this. We had power limit options in BIOS. I haven't tested them, but they do seem to go up to at least 600 watts, which is great if it works. And ICC Max is in there as well, which is an issue we had with the Alienware one. There was no ICC Max control. You really don't have to go too crazy on it to get an extra boost in overclocking, but Alienware still just didn't give us enough to work with. So again, even though Linus and I did the chilled water approach, you should be able to still overclock reasonably high on the cooler in there, and it just didn't do it. This one does have a bit more complex of a cooler. So there are a lot of fans. There's two that we can see exposed right here. And is it two more fans? Yeah. So four fans total. The additional two fans that are not revealed presently are going to be on this side, and they're sort of in this territory of the notebook. But we're not going to be able to see those today because we're only opening the bottom. So you get to see the two on the bottom. And then for the cooling solution, we have, it looks like 10mm heat pipe with a couple of 8s. So CPU dead center, GPU over here, and actually, as I've just realized, you can check by looking at the socket. So there is an Intel ILM in there, and that's what's kind of cool about these types of notebooks. That's what's exciting about them, even if it may not be the most common use case for a notebook. It's an interesting one because that's actually an Intel independent loading mechanism that they use on a motherboard. And in fact, you can see part of the clamp right there where you can release the CPU from the socket. So it's exactly like a standard motherboard where you can socket the CPU. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heat pipes running through the cold plate contacting the CPU. It's supposed to be a direct contact cold plate, but we're not going to disassemble that today. And then the rest of it's heat sinking over to these aluminum fin stacks towards the back of the laptop where there's a grill, and then the air is going to get pulled through one side here and pushed out the other to cool down the fin stack and the heat pipes that are connected to it. So cooling solution is pretty big. How good it is will depend on a lot of things, and we're not going to know until we test it if we do. And again, I'll note that this is not 100% final, so some of this should change color. It should be more blackout or gold, not sort of the unfinished metal look you have here. But it gives you a first look, and then the battery is really just kind of a joke at this point, because honestly, you're only going to use this battery if you're transporting it from one room to the other. This is a desktop replacement. This is not meant to be something you use on a plane or something like that. Although overclocking on a plane might be a video idea for the future. So we'll look into it some more as we get more information. We have some B-roll shots of the notebook as well on the top side. There's a lot of RGB LEDs. It does go up to a 2080. It goes up to a 9900K. The KS at the time of this video going live will have just been announced, and so no one really knows about it, but no word on that in here. It is just a 9900K preset to 5 gigahertz though, which MSI is capable of doing with standard 9900Ks if they want to. Memory support, 2666 megahertz stock. You can do some memory overclocking in BIOS. We have footage of BIOS to show that off. And then the panel, there's a 1080 144 hertz option and a 4K option. That's IPS. So that's what we know about the notebook for now. It's the GT76. Let MSI know what you think below. Obviously, this is not a mainstream consumer SKU. This is a Halo product, but Halo products are interesting and can be pretty fun to work with, if only for overclocking a laptop. So we'll look at this more in the future as it nears finalization. But that's it for this one. Check back for MSI X570 motherboard coverage as well. You can subscribe for more Computex show coverage, or go to store.gamersnexus.net to help us out directly. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all next time.